give up. Like, for example, astringent. Astringent is a taste that is connected with air. So a person who has an attraction for air, an astringent taste, will be cigarette. Cigarette is an astringent taste. Air is dry, it's fiery. So the tongue gets attracted to this, very difficult to give it up. All because of Venus. The same will be with sweet foods. The same will be with sour. The same will be with salty. Goodbye. So that's the way it goes. To understand why we get hooked to a particular taste, we have to also understand the nature of our horoscope. And when we are transiting different periods, like for example, if we are transiting a Venus period, we'll be more prone to accumulate water in the body. We'll be more prone to sweet food because we are transiting a Venus period. Like now, since the last 4 years, I'm transiting my moon. And I will be there for 7 years more. 10 years in the period of the moon. So it's 10 years that I'm accumulating more water. Nothing I can do about it. Don't worry. It's just the way it goes. Then I will be going in the Mars period, will be more fire, less water. The body will change. So, depending on the transits that we go, we will be more controlled by Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. Do you understand the concept of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha? Vata means air, Pitta means fire, and Kapha means water. Obviously, this water is connected with earth. The Vata, the air, cannot be without fire, and Pitta cannot be without air. But the predominant. Like here I can see already examples of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha very clearly. Like for example, Madame here, she is Vata. She's a Vata body. Your good self, you're a Pitta body. What is your good name, ma'am? Barbara is a Pitta body, predominantly. So it's Pitta, Vata, Kapha. And a Kapha body will be me. I am a Kapha body. I am just peacefully situated in the water position. So we all have predominant, different kind of bodies. So, again, the second house controls the ear. So a person who has Shukra or Venus there will have a very good musical ear. Now, why we are born with particular position of planets, why someone is born with particular combinations, this all depends on karma. We cannot study astrology if we don't understand the main basic instruments of life. First is the Jiva. The Jiva in Sanskrit means soul. Jiva. So I am a Jiva. I am consciousness, to put it in another way, in a non-religious way. Consciousness. English is very funny. So consciousness. I am the person who's conscious. I am the person who's observing the body, observing the mind, observing the intelligence. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intelligence. I am the conscious person observing all these things. So this conscious being is the Jiva. In Latin and in all Hebrew it's called anima. Funny, from here comes the word animal. Because water and fire and earth cannot move by themselves, they're unconscious elements. They need an anima, a soul, to make it move. So the word animal means actually a soul inside. So it's no question to think if animals have soul or not. Because it's like if you see a Volkswagen moving, you are sure that inside there's a driver. Isn't it? It's not that only Mercedes-Benz has drivers and Beatles has no driver. It doesn't make sense. All moving bodies, all bodies who show some symptoms of life, they show the presence of Jiva or consciousness. It has a beginning of birth, maintenance for some time, gives some byproducts in the form of fruits or flowers or children, and then dwindles and eventually goes into oblivion. This is called a soul passing through a body. Doesn't matter if it's a plant or a microbe. The jiva is so small, so infinitesimal, they can give life to any kind of body. In Sanskrit, the jiva is also called keshagra. Keshagra. The 10,000th part of the tip of the hair. If you take a hair and you divide it in 10,000 parts, and this 10,000 part you divide it in another 10,000 part, this will be the size of a jiva. The jiva is just like spark from the Supreme Spirit. But it has qualitatively the same qualities of the Supreme Spirit, means Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Now this sounds like an Indian thing, isn't it? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Doesn't apply to me. What is Sat? Sat means eternality. Eternal, Sat. Anybody here would like to die? Nobody. Did anybody goes to church and prays, please, please, I want to finish this? Nobody. We all come here because we want to live longer. So we like eternal 27, how do you call this? Eternal 27, even is one cream, famous cream. Eterna 27. There is this cream here. It's a very famous cream by, what is Yves Saint Laurent? There is Eternal 27, like you can be 27 forever. Not possible, but it's a good marketing. But eternal, this is Sat. We all want to be Sat. Why? Must be natural. But why? This body is temporary. Why we don't follow the body? This is more natural. The body is temporary. Why we are not just okay with temporary? Because we are not the body. We are jivas. We are Sat. We are eternal. At the same time, we're looking for knowledge. We need to know. We need to know, isn't it? We call our friends, we want to know everything. Tell me everything. Why we need to know? Constantly we need to know. Because we are Chit, we are full of knowledge. We are conscious. We are aware. We already know. We have forgotten. We just have forgotten. So we need to be reminded. And when we are reminded, we accept. That's true. How we knew that that was true? Because it was already inside. Do you say that this is true? Will you say that this is true, that we all looking for knowledge? How you knew that? It's natural. We are looking for knowledge because it's natural. So we are also Chit, full of knowledge. And Ananda. Ananda means bliss. Blissed, chill out, happy, yuppie, yappy, whatever you want to call it. Happy. Why we all want to be happy? Nobody wants to be miserable. Nobody prays, please, my Lord, today let me be miserable for me and for everybody. We don't do that. because it's not natural for the soul. The soul is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. That's the components, that's the main ingredients of the Jiva. The Jiva is alive, is built, his constitutional position is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge. So while we are in this material world, accepting the opposite, this body is not eternal, it's temporary, we are not full of knowledge, there is ignorance, and there is not ananda, there is suffering. Because we have accepted this particular material body. We are accepted to enter inside this material creation. And this material creation is called Asat. Non-real. The Vedas describe this temporary illusion that we fell in, just like a beautiful tree full of fruits, who is reflected in the water, looks exactly like the tree, but you cannot take the fruits from there. You cannot eat these fruits. They are illusion. They are just a reflection. So the same, this material creation, with all his variety, with all his beauty, with all the seeds and forms and relationships and everything that exists in it, it's just a reflection of the original, eternal existence, knowledge and bliss that is beyond the material creation. We have entered to play in a Play-Doh place. You understand Play-Doh? Play-Doh is this plastilina, how you call? Welcome. How you call? Plastiline. You can make a word like that, but it's not real. So to understand astrology, we have to understand this. Very important. The Jiva. Who am I? I am spirit. I am not matter. The second concept out of these five is the Jiva. The Jiva is eternally active. The Jiva cannot stop acting. We need action. This is called karma. Kar means to do, actions, and ma means mind. Mind actions. So karma means my actions create my reactions. It's just simple. This makes sense? So karma is not something that just applied to one place. It's all time, place, and circumstances. Karma. How we act. We act in three forms. With the mind, with the words, and with the actions of the senses, the body. So these three kinds of actions bring three kinds of reactions. These actions and reactions are being recorded, are being constantly recorded by these particular personalities who live in these particular planets. And you can see the very simple device, or a telephone, now goes to a satellite, and the satellite transmitted somewhere else. It's already happening. This brain is so intricate, and it's constantly sending vibrations. These vibrations being recorded. So all our life, from the beginning to the end, has been recorded. That's the waves, isn't it? So these waves that we send are being recorded. And when we take the next body, when the Jiva enters into the next body, we get the same download. This makes sense? Nobody has intervened, it's just ourselves getting the reactions from our own actions. So we have our ups and downs. So that's basically what karma is. So when we understand karma, then we understand why astrology. At the time of birth, the body receives back his download. And then depending on the exact time of birth, the location, and the date, this tree will define what's happening in the sky at the time of the birth of a person. And then we will understand ourselves very well. Finito. Time has fly very fast. We're just starting. So this is a very ancient science. I would love to talk more about it, and maybe in future time here in Munich, we can make more like a seminar. Seminar, you said? You understand the word seminar? It just came to my mind what it means. It's to plant seeds. Semi means seeds, and nar means to put, like disseminar. Dissemination. Seminar is to plant seeds. So then you can develop into thoughts, beautiful thoughts, and comprehend more this wonderful Vedic literature. You can go into, I don't know, I think it's www.vedavase.org. Then you have wonderful books, free, to just check it out. And if you want to know more about this subject, you can always write to me. I am Astro 108 at me.com. It's not me, that's the Apple thing, I don't know. Then you also have PND 108 gmail.com. You can write. And if someone wants an astrological chart, unfortunately this time, normally I come give a little lecture, and if someone wants to have a personal chart, I have the time to do it. But I just came from Ecuador, was doing some nice seminars there, and tomorrow morning I'm going back to India. But I think by Krishna's grace, maybe I come back in May, and if you would like to have a personal chart, we can talk about that. You can always write to any one of these two. If you have any questions for whatever we were able to discuss, I will be very happy to answer. You were having a question? Yeah, well, time of conception means the father and the mother. Through the father comes the seed. The little minute living entity is put through the seed of the father. So each one of these seeds, they're already alive. They already have a soul in it. They're not just, liquid entities who are just surcharged by who knows where. You can go into the vocabulary of the scientists. They're alive, that's all. They're fighting for life. So the moment that the woman becomes pregnant, this little entity starts growing. And obviously the download of his cut it, otherwise they're going to charge 5 rupees more. So then this starts developing. But at the time of birth, at the time that he comes out of light, then he becomes responsible. That's the way it works. Yes. Comes through the father, through the grains. The grains are called seeds, isn't it? Grains, they're called seeds. The Vedic text said that all living entities are constantly going from one place to another. And they come through the rain. And in the rain, this comes and is absorbed by the earth and enters into plants and forms seeds. These seeds are eaten, the grass, etc., and then becomes the particular living entity who will be in a particular place. Then from there starts growing into the body, and starts growing on. Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming.